today's video, we are going to discuss how much living your life at sea costs, breaking it all down with the logistics with the one and only Super Mario. Make sure you didn't miss episode 1 of season 2 where we discussed how to plan your life at sea. If you're new to my channel, my name is Alana and I'm all about cruising, Disney, and weekend getaways, so make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more. Let's get started. So all of the preparation was a really great segue into the money. How do we afford the lifestyle? How do we prepare and stretch our money as far as possible to make this a lifestyle? So let's dive into the logistics of money.
Okay, so we go back to the original decision, which you selected a cruise line.
Right.
Now, normally I look at the market as basically two-sided. One is the luxury segment of the market, like cruise lines like Crystal or Silver Seas or Oceania, Seabourn, and then all others like Carnival and Royal and NCL and Princess and Holland America. Those are pretty much what I call the contemporary segment of the market. So, assuming you chose, let's say, the luxury segment, you want to go on Crystal, you want to live on Crystal. Well, now the money becomes critical because you're going to be paying a lot more to live on a luxury line than you will on a contemporary line. And I mean a lot more, like probably at least twice as much or more. So let's say you chose Crystal, and then you come and you do your budget and you say, no, I can't afford it. Then you got to loop back to step one. Say Crystal ain't gonna cut it.
Right.
So now I have to choose something more reasonable. And then you may have to go at it again, sample some more, and choose another line that's within your budget, like the ones that I call contemporary cruise lines, which are pretty much priced the same way. All right, so now you're ready to start budgeting what's going to be your budget. Now the next decision is what type of cabin are you going to live on? Another critical decision, because when you're going to do the budget, the inside cabin versus a junior suite are dramatically different budgets, dramatically different. And I'm going to give you some numbers to illustrate that. You wanna select, again, when you do your sampling, your testing, you have to pretty much make that decision, which kind of cabin you're gonna pick. I know people that cannot live in an inside cabin.
Right. They have to have a balcony, get some fresh air, some sun in the morning.
Exactly. And the other decision is, are you gonna cruise solo?
Right.
Or are you gonna bring a spouse or a significant other or a partner to live with you on a cruise ship? Another critical decision, because then you're talking about different budgets and you're talking about, you both have to agree on just about everything. And that is not easy. So, all right, so having chosen the cruise line, class of ship, type of cabin, okay, now you're ready to get into the numbers.
All right, the nitty gritty, here we go.
Into the numbers. And what I've done is, you always have to make assumptions when you do a budget. And what I've done, Alana, is I've used my budget as a takeoff point.
Perfect.
And use my actual live numbers.
Okay.
And then from there you can pretty much do what ifs. What if this changes or that changes?
So here we go.
Here we go.
The real numbers, what does it cost to live on a cruise ship full time?
Yes.
Breaking it down.
Breaking it down. So we assume, the key assumption here is I'm going to use solo.
Okay.
Because I cruise solo. So my budget is only for one person.
Okay.
And then I can gross it up and do it for 2 people.
Okay.
At the very end, okay? So for example, for me, my average cruise fare per day is $100. Now, you're saying, well, what's behind the $100? Well, my mix of cruises is like 80% Caribbeans, and then the other 20% are transatlantic crossings, Panama Canal crossings, and a few Mediterraneans. So that is my mix of cruises. Obviously, your individual mix is going to pretty much determine your budget, okay? And if I were to say, instead of 80% Caribbean, 80%, let's say, Alaska, Mediterranean, Baltics, I would come up with a completely different budget, much higher budget than if 80% Caribbean.
Okay.
So keeping that in mind, $100 fare, cruise fare per day average for one person is what I'm paying, basically, $100 per day, average. Now, that average is based on the seasons. Some seasons are lower than 100. Summer is higher than 100. and then let's say the months of October, November are lower than 100. So it is an annual average. When I say 100, it's not going to be 100 every cruise.
Right.
Correct. You have to take that $100 per day and say, how much would it cost for me to book a cabin? Well, it wouldn't cost me 100 because they price it on a double occupancy basis.
Right.
Now, Royal offers a perk that if you are in the top of the loyalty program, you will pay 150% of the fare. Now, if you're not at the top of the loyalty program, you have to pay 200%. But if you start cruising a lot, you'll get there pretty quickly. So I'm using, again, I pay 150%. So that means 100 times 1.5 equals 150. So now I'm up to 150 per day for me.
Okay.
That's the fare. Now what you got to add is the tax. So let's say the average tax for let's say a 7-day cruise is about $130, $140 a week. That comes out to about maybe $20 a day. So take that up, the 150 that you got, right, and another $20 a day. Now you're up to 170.
Okay.
Okay, so we're building up the budget here. So 170 per day. And there's one more thing you got to add, and that is tips. The tips are pretty much set at $14.50 per day. So you take $14.50 and add it to the 170, and now you're up to 185 or something like that per day. And that's the basic package. I'm not adding any shore excursions or any liquor or specialty restaurants or spa or internet or casino. I'm just keeping it at the basic package because the rest of the things are discretionary.
Right.
And I can't come up with a number for everybody. So you're talking we're up to 180 some dollars a day. And then you multiply that times, now you can multiply it by 365 days. Okay? And if you do the math, in my case, it comes out to, and I choose an interior cabin, by the way. Okay, so I'm really cruising on the cheap. Okay, my budget is $72,093 for this year. And that excludes, like I said, the rest of the perks, the rest of the add-ons, as you call them.
Right.
So the minimum is $72,000 for an inside cabin. Now, I did the same exercise and did it for a balcony.
Okay.
Same mix of cruises, same everything. The balcony comes out to $101,258. That's $72,000 for an inside, $101,000 for a balcony. And if you want to know what the junior suite would be, you're talking $136,000.
Wow. That's
one person for 1 year in an inside cabin. So so it's important to keep in mind that you're working off of a solo cruising budget. To get to a double occupancy budget, you take these numbers and multiply it by 1.333. You can take notes, try to work up the numbers and take notes because you may forget these numbers. And I looked up the average cost of assisted living in the United States.
Oh, here we go. So assisted living.
Yeah. Assisted living, not nursing home.
Okay.
People talk about nursing home, and I say,
I think they combine them together and think it's the same, but
no,
it's different.
It's different. Nursing home is a false choice. If you are going to live in a nursing home because you need a nursing home, I'm sorry, you cannot live on a cruise ship.
Okay.
Because they're not going to let you stay.
Right.
You're not going to get nursing home care on a cruise ship.
Right.
All right. So let's not even consider nursing home as an option. But let's talk about assisted living or independent living or senior living, however you want to call it. And in other words, you're paying for a living facility that is where you're not needing medical care every day. And the average cost of that per year, I looked this up, is $100,380. Wow. So it's interesting. Yeah, it's about $8,000 plus a month. That's the national average.
Wow.
If you go to places like New York, it's going to be a lot higher than that. Places like Florida, probably about the average. And places like maybe, I don't know, Arizona or, New Mexico, probably lower than the national average, probably. But the average is 100, say I call it $100,000. Now, how does that fit in to the numbers I gave you before for the cost of cruising? Well, you can see that if you do an inside cabin, it's cheaper to live on a cruise ship.
Right.
With 72,000.
Yeah.
Right? It's cheaper than 100,000.
I don't think people realize that it would be cheaper.
If you do the inside cabin.
Right.
Absolutely.
Which is doable for some people, I guess.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe it's doable, maybe it's not. Okay.
Wow.
So, yeah, if you can get away with an inside cabin, you can beat assisted living. Now, once you get to balcony, you're at break even.
Right.
It makes a lot of sense to me. These numbers make a lot of sense. You live in a balcony cabin, you're going to pay exactly the same as you would pay in assisted living. You want to go a little bit luxuriously to a junior suite, you're going to pay a lot more.
That's incredible. Thank you so much for doing the math and breaking it down so we all can see segment by segment of how you want to live on a cruise ship and comparing, contrasting. That is fascinating numbers to hear.
Absolutely. Now, if you want to compare these numbers, these cost of cruising numbers, to let's say not assisted living, but living in your own home. Your own home.
Okay.
Let's say you have an apartment, you have a home, or you're gonna convert it to a home base.
Right.
Okay, you're gonna keep it. You paid the mortgage off probably, or close to paying it off.
Yeah.
Okay, you've only got the property taxes and whatever, the maintenance if you have a condo, and you want to compare how would it cost versus living in your own home. Well, I can tell you right there's no comparison. Living in your own home is going to be a lot cheaper than living on a cruise ship.
Right.
And intuitively it makes sense, because what is a cruise ship? It's a hotel. It's just like living in a Hilton hotel or a Marriott hotel or in a Vegas hotel, okay, where you have everything that a hotel has. The only difference is that it floats. It's a floating hotel. It's a flotel.
Yeah.
Okay, so you take a Las Vegas hotel and you've got entertainment, you've got food, you've got casino, you've got all the amenities that a cruise ship has.
Yeah.
So what, is it cheaper to live in a Vegas hotel than it is in your home? No way. No, not even close. Okay, so there's a misconception about, it's cheaper to live on a cruise ship. Well, it's not easy. You have to define, first of all, the type of cabin, the type of cruise line, and then you have to define what is living on land look like. Is it living in your home, living in assisted living? So the answer is it depends. That's really the bottom line answer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Mario, now that we have some hard numbers, some hard facts, I think it's great calculations. Thank you so much for crunching the numbers for us so we can see that insight. But what does it include?
So the numbers I gave you was for an inside cabin,
Right.
a balcony, and a junior suite. You could do a budget also for like a big suite, like a grand suite or an owner suite, if you can afford it. You can do a budget and come up with a whole different number. This one lady that we know that lives on a cruise ship, she has a lot of money. She pays like $180,000
Wow.
for a big suite. And I wouldn't pay that, but she's got money, she can do it. So you take your basic budget, which is I call the basic package. That includes lodging, because we're in a hotel.
Yeah.
We're living in a hotel. Floating, but in a hotel. The most food, I mean, not all the food, because you can't go to a specialty restaurant for free, all right? Unless your travel agent gives you the perk or something like that. But basically, it doesn't include specialty dining. So all the basic food, breakfast, lunch, dinner. It includes very basic beverages like iced tea, coffee, things like that. But not sodas and not obviously liquor. You got to pay for sodas. You got to pay for that. It includes all your entertainment. All the entertainment pretty much is free. It's all free with some exceptions. Okay. It includes the use of the facilities.
Yep.
The pools, the gym. There's a fabulous gym on the ships, and that's it. That's pretty much the package, the basic package.
So the only other thing that you might want to add into a little bit of budget for your extra what's not included is your spa.
Specialty restaurants,
right?
If you want to eat out in a specialty restaurant with your loved one, maybe you want to drink a little bit, and you either buy drinks individually, or you can get the drink package, which saves you money if you drink, let's say, 6 or 7 drinks a day. Saves you money. Internet package.
The internet package.
Nowadays,
on top.
people need to be connected to
course.
shore. So you're going to buy the internet package. That's going to cost you, I don't know, $15 a day.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you're going to probably do some shore excursions. You're going to visit ports of call. You want to get to know them. So you may want to do an excursion, island visit, or you want to go snorkeling, or you want to go, to do something interesting. That's going to cost you money. Okay, shore excursions are like $60, $70, $100, whatever. Then you've got casino.
Oh yeah.
People, if you're lucky, you make money. If you're not lucky, you lose money. Most people lose money in the casino.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you've got the whole retail space that you got on board. I mean, these people have figured out a way how to pick your pockets. They really have. You're gonna spend money, trust me. And you're gonna shop. You're gonna buy some stuff that you like, plus all the rest of the stuff we've talked about.
Yeah. So just thinking about adding those onto those numbers that we gave you, and it gives you a really great idea of the cost. So perfect. This will lead us into our next segment, which is some specific ship questions within the Royal Caribbean fleet and adjusting to life at sea. So if you're interested in that segment as well, come join us in the next one.
Excellent.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a big thumbs up, subscribe for more, and ciao for now.